This is Legacy Restoration out at Evergreen Townhomes in St. Anthony area, Minnesota. One of the things we do when we come out to do an inspection is we look at a lot of different factors, but we're trained to look at things like an insurance adjuster would. So, for instance, here on this vent on the south end, if you get the right angle in the sun, you can see. So, in Minnesota, in the northern regions, metal will oxidize because of the hot and heat and the cold, get a film on it, and this is what's called spatter. So you can see those pretty good sized hail hits there in the that have taken that film off. And so that's actually what insurance companies look for. That's forensic evidence of what happened here for the storm size. So we can actually measure those. Now the mark of hail leaves is quite a bit smaller than actual size. So if a hail mark is leaving, an inch and a half, that probably means it's a good size, good 2 inches on the size. Some really nice size hail here. So that's the first thing we do is look at those soft metals, right? Also, soft metals here can be what are called valley metals. So that's where two slopes come together. And as you look up and down this metal here, you can again see in the chalkiness the spatter, right? So I also chalk myself, but with that, you can kind of see there as the metal's oxidized and those spatter marks there. So when I chalk over them, it highlights the dent, as you can see in my chalk, of where the hail hit. See there again, and then here. So that's a soft metal hit. We'll come back to the shingles here in a second. Over on their side, we've got the skylights here. So if you can see in the sun there, I've kind of chalked over the backside. There's some hits on that. But we'll get up close and look at these too. So on the top here, I kind of chalked over this one. You can see a nice hit there on the skylight. You can also see in the dust the spatter from the hail on the window. Kind of show you a process here. So again, we can kind of, I chalked off some of the hits here. But so let's see if we can do this in the light. There's a dent right here on the metal. So when I take my chalk and I go over it, it highlights where the metal dented. And then if you can kind of see in the shadow over there, there's a lot of hits on that skylight there too. So that's what we call soft metal damage. Next we go over to the shingles. So what they wanted to see is how many hits per square. So a square is a 10 by 10 area. So I've highlighted kind of the angles of my square over here. There, in the bottom, there's a mark down there for that end of this 10 by 10 square, and over there. So then I label it. So we're at Evergreen, we're on the north slope. H12 means I found 12 hits in that 10 by 10 area. So if I zoom in here, you can see where the hail hit and knocked the granules out. Again up here, see how they knocked it out of there. Sometimes they just smush them in too. They'll knock them out. So what happens over time is these granules get popped out, and then the sun bakes underneath it and exposes the fiberglass. And you can kind of see the fiberglass, once it hits sun, it starts to, what we call snow leopard, turn white. You kind of see the reflection on the edge there. Once that happens, then the shingle starts to fall apart and it creates holes. So that's why you have to do your due diligence and get on hail right away. Look at a nice big hit here, wow. So this whole thing is gonna open up eventually and fall apart. So you wanna get on it right now, because most insurance companies only give you 2 years, some only 1. To get this taken care of. And then once that 2 years is up, the statute of limitations, then they're not liable for damage anymore. So that's why we like to get on these as quick as possible. So yes, that's 12 hits in that square. This is Legacy Restoration out at Evergreen in St. Anthony.